Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am live on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Welcome to Resilience Live. This is my weekly half hour that I do at 11 a.m. UK time every week. And it's all about resilience and well-being and performance and flourishing in your life. And we talk about many different things because the human experience is very multidimensional and your journey is very multidimensional. And I also focus quite a lot on the workplace where necessary and where appropriate, because I do a lot of work with organizations in terms of resilience, well-being, and performance. And although I distinguish between the workplace and life and other things, it's all one thing. You're one human being, as they say, wherever you are. Wherever you go, there you are. And so it's really about understanding the fullness of who you are and developing that and taking that wherever you go, whether it's at home with your family or it's at work and so on. That's the approach that I take to my work. And as I say, these live streams are sort of half-hour teaching sessions that I've been doing for about 3 weeks now, and I'm still refining them, I have to say, in terms of the way that I approach them. And I'm still learning about how best to deliver these. And so, it's a bit of fun and it's a bit of an exploration into various topics each week. And if it's meant for you, if the topic is meant for you, it shall find you, and hopefully you shall hear what you need to hear from it. And today is one of my favorite topics, and it's all about being yourself because everybody else is taken. This is all about living an authentic life and being who you truly are, whether that's at work, whether that's at home, whether it's with your friends, whatever it is. For me, this is the silver bullet when it comes to being resilient and healthy and successful, whatever that means to you, being happy and well mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, is living in your truth and being authentically you. And I would suggest that not only is that the silver bullet for your resilience and your well being and your health and happiness, but the fact that most people aren't doing that is the reason why most people suffer in their lives because they are not living authentic lives that are true to who they are. And instead, what they're doing is they're doing what everyone else thinks they should be doing. They are following everybody else. They are trying to meet other people's expectations. And that could be your parents, it could be your colleagues, it could be your family, your friends, it could be what's going on social media. How is everyone else living? How is everyone else presenting themselves? What kind of jobs are other people doing? What kind of jobs do your parents think you should be doing? Blah, 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 blah. And you go down this road of trying to be what everyone else thinks you should be, trying to be like everybody else. And ultimately, when that's not aligned to who you truly are, it causes extreme amounts of suffering and mental health issues, emotional pain. It weakens you, it makes you miserable. And the number one regret on the deathbed is that people did not live a life that was true to who they truly are. That is the number one regret. Just let that sink in for a moment. People live their whole life, and when they're leaving this planet, they look back, and the number one thing that comes to them is, I wish I was more of who I wanted to be, who I truly am. I wish I was more of myself. And you can't go back and have a do-over. Maybe you can, I don't know how the universe works really, but you can't really. You get that chance. And my suggestion to you is you take that chance and you live the most authentic life that you possibly can. And that is going to give you a lot of benefits mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and in the external world. And I feel like I'm quite qualified to talk about this because I have had this challenge all my life. ever since I was young, there were expectations put on me of how I should live and who I should be. And it's almost like as soon as I pop out of the womb, it's like, right, she's female and she's Indian, and therefore her life will be this. And it's who's she going to be and how's she going to live. And it's like she's female and she's Indian. So her purpose is to get married and have lots of babies and learn to cook and learn to clean and learn to look after everybody. And in terms of how she should be quiet, she should be submissive, she should be subservient to the male. She should be seen and not heard. She should do as she's told. She should follow her orders. And so that was all set as soon as I was born, because just because of the nature of the fact that I'm brown and I'm Indian and I'm born into that sort of culture. And so as soon as I was born, those pressures start to come on you, and people start to try and shape you, and they project onto you what they want you to be and how they think you should live. And look, I'm not saying any of that stuff is wrong. Like, there's so many things in my culture that I love, and I'm not saying it's wrong. Like, the whole thing of family and kids, it's wonderful. We need that. I love it. It's great. People who can do that, people who want to do that, it's a beautiful thing. Go for it. And for some people, that's their truth. But for me, I always knew from a very early age that I didn't fit that mold. I'm not here to just get married and have kids and do that stuff. Not, I don't want to say just, because it's not a just. That alone is a massive thing. But that's not what I want to do. I may do it one day, but that was never at the forefront. And there were so many things that people wanted me to be: quiet, subservient, don't have an opinion, don't speak up, blah, 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 blah. Look at me. I'm sitting here talking because that's what I do. I'm a speaker. I have opinions. I want to say things. I want to talk. I want to voice. And that was not allowed. And that was not welcomed in. But it was who I truly am. And so all my life, I've sort of had this double life kind of thing going on, where here's what everyone else wants of me, and here's who I truly am. Here's what everyone else wants of me, and here's who I truly am. And it's a really, really difficult path to walk. But I had to walk it, and I had to choose my own truth, as difficult as it was. And I'll share with you the difficulties of that. Because I just knew that for me, the pain of living a life that wasn't true to me, the pain of trying to be someone that I'm not just to please other people, that pain for me is much greater than the pain of rejection and shame that gets put on you when you don't please people and do what they want of you, and you're not being how they want you to be. But it's not easy for everyone to do that. A lot of people go down this road of being what everyone else wants them to be. And I've seen the results of that. I've done live streams and support and things in groups online full of people, hundreds, if not thousands of people who in my culture went down that road of, well, I have to get married to whoever my parents tell me to get married to, and I have to have babies, and I have to move into the in-laws' home, and I have to look after the parents. And they did all this stuff because they get shamed and emotionally blackmailed and guilted and pressured into doing what they should do. And they end up absolutely miserable, mentally unwell, emotionally distressed, physically unwell, and then trapped. Because as soon as you start walking into that life that's not true to you, it starts to grow. It starts off with the, okay, I just won't speak my truth because, you don't want me to. So now that little piece of the puzzle is in, you start being quiet. Then it's, okay, I'm going to get married to that person because you want me to. So now you got a husband in the picture. Okay, now I'm going to move in with their family. Now you got the family in the picture and you're building a home. Okay, I'm going to have kids. Now the kids are in the picture and you've got the kids. And so now you've built this whole life around something that is not true for you. And now you're in it and you're stuck in it and it's big. So how do you get out of that now? Because you went so far down the inauthentic path. And now it's like, how do I, when it hits and you realize this is not my truth, how do you start to change that? How do you start to navigate out of that? I'm not saying you just jump out and, just leave your kids and stuff. Not suggesting that at all. But the longer you go along this path of inauthenticity and build your life around fakery that is not true for you, the harder it is to backtrack and get back out. And I'm using the example of my culture and family and whatever. It could be anything. I know people who spend 20 years in a career because the parents think it's a good thing, because it makes money, and society thinks that being rich and having status is the pinnacle. And so they went down that road, even though it wasn't their truth and it didn't really fulfill them. And after you've done it for 20 years and you realize, this is really making me miserable and mentally unwell, how are you going to backtrack out of that now? It's harder to backtrack out of it when you've gone so far down the path of inauthenticity and fakery of your life. It's harder to then get out of it than if you can actually start out that way. Obviously, we've all lived a certain amount of life. So, I'm sure we've done a lot of this already where we've gone down in inauthentic paths. We can't undo that. Um, but for me, it was something that I managed to do fairly well, and it's something I still battle with every single day. Um, but really, it was, I knew who I was, and I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I didn't want. And as I said, it's the subservient Indian female versus who I truly am, which is I'm not that. I'm just not that. I'm not. I will never be that. I cannot make myself that. I'm sorry. Sorry for anyone who doesn't like it, but I can't change my nature. And I knew that that was my nature. And so I, every day, had to learn to start choosing myself, to start choosing my truth, no matter the judgment, no matter the shame, no matter the fear, no matter the rejection, no matter the arguments that came. There were occasions where my parents wanted me to get married. And they were pushing and they were pushing and they were pushing. And I said, no, no, no. I cannot tell you how hard it is to stand in your truth when people want you to be something else. It is hard. But you know what's harder? If I'd gone down that road, I wouldn't be sat here right now doing this. I'd probably be a complete wreck because it wasn't my truth. And unfortunately, many, many people go down that road. Oh, hello, Kira, darling. The guilt is the worst. You're right to raise this. Thank you, darling. I mean, it's a big topic. We probably need many more conversations around it. Having choices, we didn't have those as easily. We had to fight for them. That's the thing, right? You are taught that you don't have a choice. Really, in the highest view of that, everybody has choice, but you feel like you don't because you're told that you don't have a choice. You're told that this is how life goes and this is how you're going to do it. But really, in the essence of the soul, everyone has a choice. But you don't know that until you know that, right? And I'm still learning that, making the little choices, and sorry, just checking my Instagram, uh, making the little choices each and every day, and that's how I've had to do it. So you know as I say, you've done what you've done wherever you are. If you feel like there are aspects of your life where you're trying to be something you're not, you're trying to be, like the people on social media, you're trying to be like the way your family thinks you should be, you're trying to be like the way that your colleagues think you should be, and blah, 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 and you know that it's not congruent with your truth, it's about the baby steps. It doesn't matter how far you've gone and where you are, like it's done. Whatever's done is done. But whenever you're ready to start realigning, start realigning. So here's the thing, right? When you're born, my view is that you're here and you're whole and you're complete. And your soul, your truth, your authentic nature is who you are. And as we start moving through life, since we're little, it happens very quickly. Your soul stays there, your truth, who you are, what you want to do in your life, what you're all about. But your life starts to go in that direction. So your soul is there, gently, always there, never goes away. But your life starts going in that direction. People think I should do this. People are making me do that. I've got to do this job. I've got to do that. Blah 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 blah. Blah. And now, the longer you go on like that, the wider the split becomes between yourself, your soul, your truth, your authentic nature, what you really want, what you're really about, how you're here to express yourself, versus what you're actually living, the life you've built for yourself. The split gets wider and wider the longer you go in your life. So you start off whole and complete, and then society projects onto you, happens to everybody, and you start following them, following them, following, and split, split, split. That split, that gap between who you are and what you're living, that's the pain. That's the poor mental health. That's the weakness you feel, the fragility, the pain, the sadness, the anger, the frustration, the resentment, the regret. All of that uh, is in the gap between your authentic nature and what you're actually living. And the wider that gap, the bigger the pain. And that, I believe, is the root of all suffering. The acorn has within it everything that it needs to be an oak tree. It is already, it comes with that. It's born with that. The seed already has its true nature and purpose built within it. It just needs to express and flourish into what it was always meant to be. And then look at the beautiful, healthy, wonderful oak tree that comes about. The oak tree isn't trying to be a plum tree. The acorn isn't trying to grow into a rose bush or a whale or a dog. It's an oak tree. But as humans, we have more advanced consciousness, more complex structures that we live in. We are trying to be things that we're not. We're the acorn trying to be a plum tree. We're the acorn trying to be a dog. We're the artist trying to be a mathematician and an academic. We're the academic trying to be a family person when we want to be out there studying or whatever it is that we want to be doing. We are always trying to make ourselves what we're not. And it's silly when you think about it because we're going against the laws of nature. It doesn't happen in nature. Everything is seeded with what it is meant to be, and it is what it is meant to be, and that's that. But not us for some reason. We try to work against the laws of nature, but we are nature. So success comes from being in your nature. And I believe everyone has a soul blueprint. I believe everyone has within them what they were here to be, whether it's the most amazing parent, whether it's the most amazing cook, whether it's the nomad that wanders the earth for the lifetime, whether it's the monk that goes and sits in the mountain. And it will be a variety of things, not just one thing necessarily. I believe we all have that in us when we come, but then we get lost. Oh, my parents said this. Oh, my family said that. Oh, someone on social media is doing this. And it's in all areas of life. The big decisions about how you choose to do things, your career, your family, your marriage, and so on, to the small decisions about what you choose to do with your day. Are you choosing to do with your day what is true for you? Or are you choosing to do with your day what other people think you should be doing? Are you choosing to dress how you want to dress? Or are you choosing to dress how society says you should dress? I've seen people do this. I've seen people, this is going to sound, it's not meant to be like any kind of arrogant thing, but I notice things, right? Many years ago, I remember people would copy what I wear because I look sometimes I look all right? And I'd notice other people starting to copy my hair, my makeup, my clothes because I liked it and I enjoyed doing it, but it wasn't true for them. And I saw them, they felt really uncomfortable. They weren't comfortable. They weren't comfortable in that dress. They weren't comfortable in the makeup that they'd done. I could feel they felt insecure about the way they just done their hair now because I had the hair like that and they did the hair like that. But it's not you. So why are you doing it? Be you. Be you is the ultimate message. Kira says, I totally agree with you. I'm scared I come across as an angry Indian woman at times because of my history. Any tips on how to handle these emotions? There are times I struggle with staying positive, although I really want to. I keep going back to my past and not live in the present. There's lots of really awesome questions. You look fantastic. Oh, bless you, darling. I did put a little bit of makeup on today. I didn't wake up that long ago and I'm so tired. I was like, quick, fix it. Um, so many awesome questions that I'm scared I come across as an angry Indian woman. So I really relate to that. And here's what I would say to you, Kira, around that. And this applies to everybody. The longer you've been living an inauthentic life because of the pressures around you, which are very real, I'm not belittling them. I'm not saying, and I close my eyes, by the way, just because it helps me focus. I'm not falling asleep and being weird. But you know, it's the pressure that comes from outside, the shame, the guilt. It's not easy to go against that. I'm not making this a small thing. This is tough. It goes against your nature, your animalistic nature, wanting to be part of the group, wanting to be accepted, all of that, your survival instincts. This is not an easy thing that we're doing here. But the longer you've been doing that, that anger is resentment and frustration because inside you, something knows that it's not right. And we feel like we've done it because of these people. They made us be like this. They made us. And to some degree, yes, they did. And that's the anger and the frustration. And my suggestion to you with that is that so bad? Is that so wrong to feel anger and frustration? No emotion is wrong. all emotions are okay. That's also part of your authentic nature. Don't reject it. Don't betray yourself by saying, I shouldn't feel these things. You have every right to feel those things. Now, you don't have to necessarily act on it, but that's a whole nother thing that takes a bit of practice. But it's okay. And even if you do act on it, we try not to hurt people and things, but allowing yourself to realize that all of that is okay based on what you've been through. It's actually normal. There's a saying which is an abnormal response to a situation, to an abnormal situation is normal. Let me say that again a little bit more clearly. An abnormal reaction to an abnormal situation is normal. So it's not normal to be pressured into, it's abnormal to be pressured into doing these things and shamed and guilted. And rah, rah, rah. So if your response is rah, that's totally normal. There's nothing wrong with that. And how to handle it is to accept that it's okay. What you resist persists. If we label these emotions as bad and wrong and we shouldn't have them and so on, so on, it's normal to feel. Like I said, people at the end of their lives feel regret because they didn't live a life true to them. That's normal. These emotions are normal. Like, don't reject them and think they're wrong. There are times I struggle with staying positive, even though I really want to. I keep going back to my past and not live in the present. And I get that too. I get that too. And this is practice, right? To live in the present moment is practice. Everything I'm talking about is practice. To live your authentic truth, to live your life as you want to live it, as who you truly are, is practice. And it's baby steps. I said this last time, and I say this every time. Everything about your growth and development is baby steps. Everything in my life has been baby steps. And it went from when I was a teenager having the slight courage and bravery to go out with my friends when my parents didn't want me to. And that was a big thing back then because I would get pain in response to that. There would be fights and arguments and shame and rah, rah, rah. But I had the courage to just take that little step. And then the next day, I take the next little step to be my authentic truth. And then the next day, I take to keep coming back to who I am and say, no, I'm not going to be what you want me to be. I have to be who I truly am. I have to serve my own heart and soul. And then it grows over time to bigger things, bigger things, bigger things, bigger steps, bigger step, bigger steps. And then you start just like going straight away to your truth, doing what you want, doing what you want, doing what you want, doing what you want. And you just find it easier and easier to do. But it takes practice to reorient yourself to your truth, to your heart, to your soul, to your authentic nature, especially if you've been living a whole life as something that you're not. And you've built a whole life as a fragile house of cards, of fakery, which is not to judge anybody, because I'll tell you what, I reckon 99% of people out there are doing that. It's not personal, it's just the way that we function. But it takes time. It takes baby steps, and but I really recommend people doing it, and focusing on the past. I get that, Kirat, I get that, and again, it's a part of your brain that is always going to do that, but it's up to you to refocus. And I think I said this to you when I met you a few weeks back at my talk in London, is you've got to have something to pull you into the future, into the now, into the what you want to create. And that is a clear vision from your heart of the life you want to create for yourself. Otherwise, the past will always have the greater power and keep pulling you back there. So you must counter that force. You got your consciousness here, right? And if it's passive, it's just going to get dragged off to the past, the past, the past, because that's what has the power. You must give it something else to focus on. You must reorient your focus. You must master the focus and choose to focus on the vision of what you want to create, which, by the way, the past is irrelevant to that. Because when your vision is really true and it comes from your heart, your soul, your authentic nature, it doesn't even, the past has nothing to do with it. We're going in another dimension of consciousness here where that stuff doesn't matter. And if it's powerful and it's authentic, it will be like a magnet. It will pull you towards it. It will help you stay focused on what you want to create, what to do right here, right now. But if you don't have that piece of the puzzle, all you've got is the past. And so you will naturally keep falling back, falling back, falling back, focusing there, focusing there, focusing there. So it's up to you to turn your head. But you got to give yourself something to look at. Turn your head to the future, turn your head to what you want to create. Turn your head to what's important to you. Turn your head to your heart, your values, what's important right now, right here. What do you want to create? What do you want to do? But you have to take that action. That's will, the will of your consciousness to choose to turn your head. Otherwise, it's autopilot. And autopilot, involuntary, is always going to look back at the past and repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. That's just the programming of the brain. You, as a mastered being, turn your head, turn your head. Conscious choice you have to make every day to focus on what you want to create in line with your authentic nature, in line with what you want to do. And that takes me to a point, another point, slightly now going on another thing, but about um the being your true self and doing what is true for you in your life, in all areas. Not, I'm talking about, we've just spoken about marriage and family and the big things, but even the little things, how you run your business, how you speak to your clients, what kind of products you have, your services, all these things, you must do it your way. Because someone said to me a little while ago, with the best intentions and with the best will to help me, they said, Pinky, why aren't you on TikTok? Everyone's on TikTok. TikTok's the place to be, and you're going to get loads of followers. You've got to be on TikTok. And for a moment, and immediately my intuition told me, because your authentic soul, your nature is always there, always whispering at you. It whispers, it doesn't shout. So you got to get sensitive. You feel that, oh, that doesn't resonate with my truth. And I felt it, but I spent a few days with it. I was like, oh, TikTok, TikTok, maybe I should be on TikTok, maybe. And then it came very clear to me very quickly, because the more you do this, the more you align yourself and follow your authentic nature, the quicker you see the truth, the quicker you see it. You don't have to wait a year and you have a year of mess ups before you realize it. You start seeing it quickly and you act on it. But it came through very quickly, is that I don't want to do TikTok. And it's just like Lorraine is saying there, I don't have TikTok, you don't need to. I don't want TikTok, Lorena. I don't like TikTok. I like TikTok in the sense that when on Instagram and things on other platforms, I see people. I like to sometimes watch people's TikToks, the good ones, like the quality ones that, nice creative pieces and, maybe teaching something. I don't mind watching it, but I don't want to be on TikTok. The thought of me being on TikTok makes me physically puke, honestly, because I just imagine trying to spend all my time creating a 20, 30-second snippet, all the editing and trying to learn transitions and words and music and blah, 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 and trying to be like, oh, 30 seconds of boom, 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 wisdom. And why am I doing it? Because everyone else is doing it. And so I should do it, right? And for followers and I don't want to do that. It's not my truth. I don't care. And the thing is, if you follow that path, you're going to expend a lot of energy. You're going to hate the process. You're going to get mediocre results, if not no results. However, when you do what's true for you, you're going to enjoy the process. You're going to get better results. And it's going to be much more fun to go along that path. So for me, I'm about long form content. I'm about the nuanced conversation. I'm about the exploration of whatever comes up in the moment. I'm about deeper discussions. I'm not about the 10, 20-second TikTok. That's okay if that's for you. It's not for me. Maybe one day I'll have someone doing that for me, taking my long forms and putting it into short forms so that my content is accessible to people who like that kind of stuff. That's okay, but I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. And I have done it in the past. I followed other people's ideas and ways of doing things, and it's been a waste of my energy and my time. And I said it before, energy is the currency of your life. Where are you spending it? Do not spend it on things that you don't want, that you don't care about, that aren't true for you. Everyone who's everyone is saying, do it like this, post 3 times a day, blah, 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 run your business like this, have a structure like that, follow this process for all the sales and blah, 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 blah. No. Is it true for you? What is your way? Because I tell you what, inside your authentic nature, when you be yourself instead of trying to be everyone else, you will have the creativity and the power and the ways of doing things that are magical and genius and work for you, and you love it and you enjoy it, and you will create wonderful things. But to do that, you must be willing, just don't know where that was going, willing to follow your own inner authentic truth and guidance. When everybody else is telling you to do this thing, you're like, mm-mm, not for me. And that's quite difficult because everybody else is very loud, but your soul whispers. All the things in your mind, I should do this, very loud, but your soul is whispering. So you got to get quiet and sensitive to that. You got to be willing to have faith in your own intuitive truth and wisdom and put that before everyone else's opinions. And you got to have the willingness to go with it. And that's not easy. You got to have the willingness to be judged, to be ridiculed, to be shamed, to be guilted when you choose your own authentic path. And that's not easy. I've had a lot of pain in my life from not being what other people want me to be. And I get judged for not doing things the way that other people think I should do them and not living my life in the way that other people think I should. It is not an easy path. I'm not making it sound, and I'm not going to come in and tell you it's easy. Just be yourself. It's so fun. Everyone says, just be yourself. No one's being themselves. Trust me. Hardly anyone is being themselves because it's hard to be yourself because you got to take judgment. You got to be vulnerable. You got to take risks. You got to do things for a vision that only you can see. They can't see my vision. My vision isn't TikTok's million followers. It's the depth of nuanced conversation. It's the exploration of consciousness. I don't do that in a 20-second TikTok. You can't do that in a 20-second TikTok. If TikTok's for you, good. Go do it. Go smash it. But it's not for me. And I had to choose. And some people judge me. Oh, that's a bit silly. Why are you not on TikTok? Because I don't want to be on TikTok. I don't want to. Um, Kirit says you're not a TikTok person. I'm not a TikToker. And there are billionaires on TikTok now. They made billions on but it's not here for me. And that's what makes me feel, and I think that's why I've managed in my life to continually stay on path of my truth, no matter all the pressures from my culture and everything, is because this is so strong. That inner knowing is so strong that I can't ignore it. And that's what's been my inner GPS. Kieran loves my thought process. Well, I'm glad because I think some people probably think it's a bit loopy and weird because it's just like, woo, where are we going today? Energy is a currency of your life. Stealing that line, please steal it, take it, and use it and share it. And I said this in the last one, energy is the currency of your life. And it's like money. And where you put your money, ideally, you want to put it in things that give you a return on investment. Not where you waste your energy, waste your money, deplete it, and get nothing back, which is what I would do if I did TikTok. Because it's not filling me here, it's not return on investment here. Where is my energy going? Put it into your authentic nature. That's going to get you the return on your investment. Lorena says, gosh, I love you so much. And I love your attitude and your way, your energy. Can I just say something to you ladies? Because, and oh God, I'm feeling emotional. Shit. Oh, sorry, what's going on? I'm swearing and I'm on LinkedIn. Oh my goodness. This is really embarrassing. My eyes are starting to water. Oh God. I'm going to tell you something a little bit vulnerable about what I have been going through the last few days, which is that um, I've been judging myself a lot for the way that I create content and the way that I speak. Oh my God, I'm actually crying live stream. This is really embarrassing. Oh my God. But basically, like, you know, everyone has opinions of how you should present, how you should teach. And I think I've been really like, this ramble I've been doing, which is how I speak. I've been very sort of judgmental of myself about that's not right. That's not good enough. People don't want to listen to that. People won't understand what you're saying. People will turn off because you're just going on these random rambles. Um, and I sort of yeah, I've been just kind of trying. I've been trying to fix myself. I've been trying to do it in a way that I think I should be doing it, which is everything I'm telling you about. Oh my God, it's so dumb. I'm just having the realization I'm teaching you what I have not been doing in this particular respect, which is I can't believe I'm crying on the internet. This is so embarrassing. Um, but just to hear from you that you resonate um, really means a lot. So I thank you for that because I've been really um, fighting that. But even before I came on today, I was like, oh, this is going to be so bad, Pinky, because you haven't structured it, you haven't thought about it enough, you haven't done it in the way that people said you should do it. And I was like, oh God, it's going to be awful. And then I just started talking and being who I am. And I appreciate that you vibe with that. And that's exactly what I'm trying to teach. That is the irony of it, is that that's exactly what I'm trying to teach. Um, they say you teach others what you most need to learn. And I think this is why this topic in particular is so important to me, because I've always had that yearning in my heart to just be who I am and not try and change myself and not judge myself and not feel ashamed to be everything that I am, all aspects of it, even these snotty tears. It's like I'm judging, I'm rejecting it, it's not good enough. But that's my authentic nature right now. That's what's coming out of me. So who am I to judge that, push that, reject that? And we learn when we're young to reject that stuff, right? If your caregivers didn't see you in your wholeness and they didn't actually allow you to be your fullest self in all aspects, all the emotions, all the feelings, all the things you wanted, everything, that's how we learn to start betraying our own selves and rejecting ourselves. And that's what hurts. It's exactly what I've just told you earlier. Here's your truth, and here's the fake you. And the gap between the two is equal to the pain that you experience. And I've felt that pain where I haven't been accepted for who I am. And so I've tried to shape myself in some ways, I think, even in subtle ways, even in those big decisions, I've been quite good. But the little things like I've just experienced with you now, I'm still doing it. I'm still rejecting who I am and trying to be something that I think I need to be in order for this to work, for people to like me, to whatever, whatever. And it's painful. It's really painful. And I think that's why this is so close to my heart, because my greatest yearning in my soul is to be whole and authentic. For me, that's the pinnacle of my life. Like, it's not about, yeah, okay, sure, I do work I love, I have followers, I want to have a business, I want to, be successful. I love all that. But really, in my deepest truth, my pinnacle yearning of my soul in my existence is to be whole, and to be at a point in my life where all of this is integrated, authentic, and it's all okay. And I'm okay with all of it. And I'm not changing it, I'm not fixing it, I'm not judging it. I'm just, this is me. And I'm totally comfortable with that. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And that's also not my business. And that for me is what I yearn for most, is to be able to be fully me. And that's freedom. That's what I yearn for, freedom. Just to be absolutely who I am always and never feel like I have to change that. Because having to change that and rejecting yourself, that's the pain. That's the pain. That's the mental suffering, emotional distress. That's the physical illness that it then manifests in. Kirat says, don't you dare change. I tune in for the real you. Oh, thank you, darling, for all these beautiful comments. People like you help people like us, and that's what matters. I'm super grateful to have met you. I'm so grateful to have met you as well. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm gonna just read some comments on. Ah, thank you for sharing. Thank you, says Lorena. You're welcome. You're naturally gifted, especially with communication. I resonate with you so much. Teaching and preaching about things I'm actually working on a daily basis. But that's exactly why we can. Exactly. We're working on it daily, right? I am by no means a finished product. I never will be. There's no such thing. Every day is a journey of growth. Every day you uncover something else. Every day, which I've just done with you here. So thank you for being part of it for me, because you guys have hit something for me that is big, really big. So I really appreciate you as well. Excuse my snotty nose if you can hear me. I try to. Okay. Uh, Lorena says, interesting. Believe I know the pin that you're talking. Oh, the pain. Yeah. Yeah. I think some of us just know it, right? I feel like Kirit, Lorena, and me, I think it's soul sisters here right now. I think it's soul sisters having this conversation. And I think that's amazing. And I think that we are all experiencing that same thing, that yearning to just be your whole truth. Um, And it is not an easy path, but I think we just keep going for it, keep going through it. I remember Oprah, she said once, she was about, I think it was about her 60th birthday, and she said something along the lines of, I now feel completely at ease and comfortable with who I am. And I was like, that's it. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Let them do them. When you can sit and be so whole, integrated, complete, and like Kirit was saying in the past, that's cool as well. Bring that in. Don't judge that. Don't reject that. Anything in you that you reject or try to change or fix, blah, 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 you fragment yourself. You separate yourself out. You split yourself into pieces. That's the pain. We want to bring it all in and be unapologetically you. And that's the wholeness. Now you become powerful. Now you become integrated and whole. And then you live from there. And that is definitely what I'm aiming for. And I'm also realizing I'm over time. So I'm gonna cut it there. Oh, I thought I'd be so good at doing these lives on time. For other things, like when I'm doing trainings and things, it's like I've got a set time schedule and it's like I'm booked in to do a certain, so I'm like, I'm on it, like bang on the minute. But with these, where I'm just like ramble but I am gonna cut it there. And wow, so we've had snot and tears and things I didn't expect to have. I've had realizations right in here, thanks to you, Lorena and Kirit. So thank you. And I hope that I see you again. I'm gonna go off now and just assimilate what you have helped me to see that I have been doing to myself. The irony of which it is what I'm also trying to teach you today. It's like the cosmic joke, man. I swear, there's a cosmic joke being played here. But thank you, and I love you loads, and I wish you a wonderful day, whatever, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and I wish you lots of peace, lots of love, and lots of wholeness, and lots of authenticity, and embracing who you truly are, because it's beautiful. It was beautifully designed. There are no mistakes. Sorry, I'm still talking, but I got to just say this one because I love this one. It's that thing of like when you reject any part of yourself or judge it as wrong and try to change it and fix it and whatever, in my view, we are created by a divine intelligence. I call it God. You can call it whatever if it resonates with you. And for me, it's like if you're saying that there's something in you that's wrong or not good enough or not right or the way you're doing things and blah, 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 blah is wrong, you're basically saying that that divine intelligence that created the entire cosmos and this beautiful planet with all this life on it and all these creatures and all, you're saying it made a mistake. Like it doesn't know what it's doing. When it made you, it did something wrong. It made a mistake. It got something. Really? It made the cosmos. It made all of this, and it made you, and it is super smart. So it made you exactly as you were designed to be and destined to be. There are no mistakes in you. You just have to allow yourself to be all of it. Thank you, Pinky says. Kira, can't wait for next week. You're perfect today. Love you too. Oh, bless you, darling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm going to go now because I'm sure we've all got other things to do now as well. But I hope that was fun. It was fun for me. Thank you so much, darlings. I'm going to sign out. Take good care. Bye, bye, bye.